In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the best grab-and-go fragrances on the market that you can purchase right now. So what is a grab-and-go scent? Well, in this situation here, I think that kind of describes it in a nutshell. These are the type of scents that require absolutely zero thought process or planning to actually be able to pull these off or wear them. You know, part of the fun of being a fragrance enthusiast and really getting into the hobby is you might have certain particular scents that you like to wear to certain situations or for certain occasions or for certain specific times of the year. And that's great, but that can add a bit of maybe some unneeded stress to the hobby a little bit. You know, when you amass a big collection, that in and of itself makes it a bit hard to decide what you should wear for the day sometimes. And so I think it's important for everybody to have a group of scents set aside that you can always lean on to wear for any situation. If you're running late and you got to get out of the house and you don't have time to sit there and mull over what you want to wear for the day, you want to be able to have something that you can pick up, spray on, and leave with no thought process, and that's kind of the idea behind these selections today. And so we have 10 of them, you know, going to try to keep it pretty concise, pretty easy to digest here. Truth be told, there are many, many more scents than that in my collection that could fit into a video like this, but I wanted to not get too out of hand and give you information overload. So these here are a great starting point. You can pick and choose based off of what you think will work best for you and your collection and your situation. The price ranges with these will be varying as well, some more cheap, some a bit more expensive, so it only depends on which you want to wear and what you're comfortable with spending. I'll drop links to these down below, but with that, let's go ahead and just dive right into it. I want to get things kicked off with Issey Miyake Nuit d'Issey Blue Astral. One you don't hear about too often, but I really like. It's got coriander, lime, and amberwood. This is going to be of the fresher variety, probably more suited for your spring and summer times of the year. However, going into fall and winter time, if you needed something to grab and go, this one would work for that as well. Pretty much any time, for any situation, formal or casual, you can pull this one off. And for what it's worth, there is a bit of a uniqueness about this one. It doesn't smell like every other freshy or you know, citrus scent or aquatic scent or blue scent or whatever on the market. It kind of stands on its own here with some unique texture from the coriander. The citrus in here is not as pronounced as you might expect it to be, considering just kind of the marketing and the look of the bottle and everything like that. There's a bit more of like an ambery, slight sweetness and depth in the base that kind of makes it suitable for days where it's a bit chillier, but also days where it's warm outside as well, kind of splitting right down the middle between fresh and sweet. And as you might know, or maybe you figured out by this point, scents that mix fresh and sweet generally get the most compliments for some reason, but also they have a ton of usability as well. Price-wise on this one, I think you're looking at around $50, $55 for 100 milliliter. Very reasonable. Definitely something to stand out, smell unique, and wear for anything. Next up, we do have a brand new release, or at least new within the past, few months, maybe middle of the summer or so. I think this one came out officially somewhere around there from Mancera. It is Cosmic Pepper. So this one here is really good. I've already done a video on this and I've been gushing over it ever since then. I love this stuff. This is also another one where when I got this one in, generally the first person who smells these besides me is my fiance, and she immediately loved this one as well, to the point where she was like, yeah, you need to wear that a lot. And generally, kind of for the most part, this one is starting to kind of be out of season, or at least I'm going to be kind of looking towards some of the sweeter scents in my collection. That being said, for a grab-and-go style scent, this one could work any time of the year. Spring, summer, fall, winter, whatever. And I'll explain why, and I'll give you some comparisons, and it's going to make sense. To me, this one smells like a mixture between a few scents, most notably kind of 3 to 4 of them, which is interesting. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme / or Allure Homme Sport, so those two together, mixed with La Nuit de l'Homme and YSL L'Homme. Kind kind of really interesting, but that's what I get out of this. And so to break it down, you get some of the tonka bean kind of dustiness from the Chanel, and some of the fruitiness like the orange you get off of there from here. Some of the fresh balances from Allure Homme Sports, you know, like kind of that one has the C notes and the aldehydes. You get some of that in here. Less C notes, more so of like an aldehydic smell. Going over to the other side of things, you do get, no surprisingly, and going over to the other side of things here, not surprisingly, you do get some pepper, some spiciness, and that kind of has a similar La Nuit de l'Homme smell, almost like this warm spicy mixed with this dusty powdery smell. Some of that going on, kind of like La Nuit de l'Homme. And then finally, just a little bit of the regular L'Homme in here, just some of that gentlemanly, kind of fresh, appley smell, you know, just to kind of icing on top of the cake. That's how this one breaks down for me. That opening is absolutely gorgeous. This is a stunner. This did pop up not too long ago for like $80, $85 on Fragrance Net, which, you know, being that it's a very new release, that is a great price. It sold out quickly because I sent out an email. So if you want a chance to be able to grab this one below retail, along with anything else that might be rare, discontinued, or hard to find, jump on my mailing list and texting list. You guys will be the first to find out about when stuff like this restocks. And so, yeah, if you want to be able to get it for a good price, that's going to be your best bet. It'll pop up back in stock here shortly. I can see this one doing really well. It's not maybe as exciting as some might hope, you know, going to be a familiar scent, obviously, given the comparisons there. But ultimately, I think with its own twist, which it does have, this one is something that provides a ton of value. Super wearable, takes no thought at all. People love it. Next up, we have Versace Dylan Blue. Needs no introduction, pretty much a no-brainer. You're looking at around $45 to $50 for this one for a 100ml bottle. You can get a big 200 like this for in the mid-60s, so it works out to be a pretty good price per mil. If you're going to be wearing it a lot, it makes sense to go this way. Maybe it's pushing 70 for this size, but it still works out to where you're saving a pretty good amount of money versus if you were buying the 100 milliliter bottle twice versus buying this, right? You can see where the savings are. And I understand for everybody that's not something that needs to be worried about. For me, not a huge issue, although you would be surprised. I put a pretty big dent in my 100 milliliter bottle of this stuff. I wore it exclusively there for quite a while, a few years back. And from time to time, I still do throw this one on. I love Dylan Blue. It smells great. Incense, kind of smoky blue scent with some aquatic notes in here. Again, you know it, but for the price, this is something that works for anything at all. Next up, we have Brioni Eau de Parfum, just the original one. You could go with, for the most part, any of them, honestly, and they would all work for a bunch of situations. It's got violet, cedar, and ozonic notes in here. It's fresh. It's kind of blue smelling, but not ambroxan blue, just like the color blue or the color violet, right? The violet leaf in here is very, very prominent and, as per usual, very distinct. Every time that note is used, you can pick up on it easily. Very much stands out, and it's the star of the show here. It's very fresh. It's great for springtime, and really, though, it can be used any time of the year. It's got that freshness with some woods in the base to where even if it's a bit cold outside, they're going to have no problem with this one. And this also kind of has a cooling smell to it already, so that might complement, colder weather. You got that cool, crisp air, and then you kind of have that cool, crisp smell of this one. Nice little combo there. This is, I want to say around, I don't know, maybe $60 to $70-ish, somewhere around in there. So definitely very reasonable. Next up, we have Mugler Angel Men Ultimate. This one's got cappuccino, some balsam fir, and essentially it's a very wearable gourmand, a very wearable coffee scent, where something like the original Angel Men might be much more daring and challenging and less versatile. This is one that you could pull off in a lot of situations, even in a summer evening or something, if you wanted something kind of sweet and delicious smelling, but isn't too over the top and does have some aromatic freshness about it, and this would be great for that. Pretty much any situation you can think of, you can wear this one and have no problems at all. Actually has quite a bit of a freshness off the top. As you work further into the dry down, you get some more of the coffee and things like that, but I really do like it. It's one where When it's in stock, it's, you know, a $60, $65 scent, pretty reasonable. Does sell out from time to time. I'm always on the lookout. I'll send out a notification when it pops back up at some point, but it's worth being on the lookout for. Something super easy to pull off and affordable. Next up, we have Robert Graham Fortitude. These Robert Graham scents are great, super unique, bring a lot to the table for a reasonable price of about, I don't know, $60, $70 here. This one's got tobacco, tonka bean, and patchouli. Love this stuff. So for me, tobacco scents, amazing. I'm a big fan of pretty much all of them. I don't think there's one tobacco scent that I don't like. Throwing in the patchouli as well to give it a little bit of a earthiness to go along with that tobacco. Again, when we're talking about this price range, you cannot go wrong. That smells amazing. Dusty and powdery sweet, silky smooth, great for the cold weather. But again, you know, for the most part, you're gonna not have too many problems pulling this one off. Kind of think of it as like a more complex Dolce & Gabbana The One. You know, maybe that's one way you could look at it. And D&G The One is a signature scent for many people. This is kind of taking it a step further, maybe a bit more unique and less played out, so to speak. And I love Dolce & Gabbana The One, by the way. But for the most part, grab this one, spray it on, and you're set. You know, you might have some hesitation when it's really hot outside in the dead of summer, right? There's other options in here maybe that you would use for that, but a summer evening, you would have no problem. Rocus L'Homme, this guy is, you know, I think $27 to $33, $34, kind of specific there, but I think that's about what it is. On the low end, that's testers with cap. On the higher end, that's full presentation. And I always say, if you can get a cap and a tester, you know, a tester comes with a cap, just go that direction. Save a few bucks and, you know, probably throw the box away anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's got blood orange, a ton of aromatics in here. Another one that has gotten a fair amount of hype, and this is one that also is met with a decent amount of pushback or hate as well. Again, it comes down to the price point. You know, if you are on a budget, then this is the solution to your problems. It's wearable. People like how it smells. It's affordable. Going back to that budget thing, right? The quality to price ratio is great. It has decent performance as well. It just kind of checks all the boxes. Not everybody has hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars to spend. And so if you are trying to watch your spending in this hobby and you want something that you can actually wear in a lot of situations, I mean, this is it. You know, definitely check it out. Don't sleep on this one. Don't let people scare you off too much. It's really solid. Next up, we have Dior Sauvage Parfum. So this one kind of separates itself quite a bit from Sauvage, EDT, EDP, and, well, the newest Elixir, which came out after this, of course, but you know, this one does stand on its own a little bit more, which I think is a good thing. It's got bergamot, sandalwood, orange, olibanum, some tonka bean in here as well. It doesn't have the sharp bergamot and black pepper opening. You don't get completely assaulted with all of the ambroxan either, and it's still there, don't get me wrong, but in a smoother format. And the other notes like the sandalwood and everything like that help to smooth out the scent. It really rounds off the harsh edges that the EDT has. And, you know, the EDP is smoother than the EDT, but it still has some of that going on. This one really takes it even further in the direction of being more mature and just less harsh and in your face. And so because of that, you're going to get a lot of versatility out of this one as well. Pretty much any situation that you could think of to wear this, you can wear it. Be a great signature scent. Being that it's the Parfum, it's a little bit more expensive than the EDP and the EDT, but not by a ridiculous margin, and it's well worth it. Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir. This is the Eau de Parfum version here. This one's all about the cedarwood, the musk, and that's basically it. A lot of musk, a lot of woods, and a little bit of citrus, but not a ton. Some vetiver in here as well, going along with the woods. So kind of has a little bit of a slight soapiness, has a little bit of a textured kind of spiciness from the cedar wood in here, and then just a pretty standard musk dry down, very masculine and traditional smelling. Nothing that is out of the ordinary, nothing that is going to blow you away necessarily. It's not overly exciting, but most of these aren't. You know, we're going after things that are just super versatile and easy to wear and require no thought process, and this is yet another one of those. You're looking at around, I don't know, $50 to $60 for this. A very, very good price for it. Last up, we have Armani Code Parfum. Love this stuff as well. This one here takes that Code DNA, throws in a little bit of iris. It modernizes it and makes it a little bit more up to date. And if you've been wearing the original Code for years at this point and you are just sick of it, this is the type of thing that will kind of reignite that spark, because it's different enough to make it interesting again, but it's not so different that it doesn't smell like Armani Code. I always say, you know, when it comes to getting a flanker done right, it is strictly a balancing act. Some brands can do a great job at it, others cannot, or at least they don't try to. They try to make things different. I think this is a perfect example of a flanker done right, where they hit the nail on the head. It's right down the middle of being different enough, but also still maintaining that signature DNA. It's worked down to a pretty good price now, $120-ish maybe a bit less, which is on the upper end for this video, but also pretty standard and typical for your more premium Armani scents. All of the Acqua di Gios and everything like that are right around that mark, you know, sometimes a bit less, but overall, great scent to have around. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some of the best grab-and-go scents that you can purchase on the market in 2023 going into 24. Again, there could have been many more options as well. These are just some. It's a good starting point. I'll link them down below, and again, for any of the ones that might be out of stock right now, you know, Cosmic Pepper, you want to get that one for $80, jump on my mailing list and texting list, and when that one comes up, I'll send out a notification. Anytime something rare, discontinued, or hard to find comes into stock, same deal, you'll be the first to know about that. And the things sell quick because these are in high demand, so make sure you're on there, especially the texting list, and just keep an eye out on your inbox. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.